What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Cloud Slayer channel. Hope you guys are doing well. Today we got another ramble. Today, Tuesday, whatever day it is, 4/7/2026, I do believe. Just out here getting some stretches in, things like that to help keep my body nice and limber. There's a lot of things that go into stretching, man. It's really tough to do sometimes, especially as you get older. You know what I mean? It's difficult to be consistent with it and to actually go out there and do it. Get yourself up off the couch in order to do it. But we do it anyways to try to stay limber. I feel like it's helped me out a lot, and my everyday life and things I do helps me recover from some injuries. Helps me deal with those little tweaks that I face on a daily, right? So a lot of things I've always had, like knee problems and stuff like that, especially from old basketball injuries and whatnot. And stretching was, well, first of all, I want to say that when I first discovered that like stretching helped me out a lot. I was a teenager, man. I had bad back pain and stuff like that, and I remember I did a lot of research. It was like the infancy of YouTube. Don't judge me. YouTube's been around for a long time, but I found information. I was like 16 years old. Bad back pains like for a couple years. Sometimes it will last for months or whatever. So since I was like 14, 13 maybe. Yeah, about that. So a few years, and it could be very bad. Like I didn't have the proper form or strength in my back or something. Whatever the case was, my back would go out. But I remember I was watching this MLB guy. I forget his name now, but he had like really bad back pains, and his simple solution, was doing stretches every day. So I wrote down like all the stretches that he did, because he had a YouTube video of the stretches that he did, and I implemented that every day. I remember this one summer I got really into it. I stretched multiple times a day. I started doing more workouts and stuff. I wanted to get abs at this time, but it takes more than just working out to get abs. You gotta be consistent in different ways and stuff like that. But whatever. It was a goal, and I was still working hard to do it. And you're a teenager. When you want to do something, you're gonna freaking do it. You're balls to the walls to it and stuff like that. But regardless, I end up doing this, and holy crap, I don't like, since I've gotten older, if I do, hurt my back, it's for a short period of time. It's not like a prolonged period of time, maybe overnight, unless if like I fell on my back or something, right? But like if I'm lifting garbage wrong or I'm shoveling snow, at most one day, and it helped me out a lot. So I've always been a firm believer in that. I fell off for a few years, and like my knee, like I had the excuse of sports injuries for my knee and stuff like that, for basketball, and freaking sorry, uncomfortable position, sorry, but I picked back up on it a few years back, and it's done wonders. I could do squats and stuff like that, all body weight squats and stuff like that. I could squat with weight on my back. That was a hard thing for me to learn how to do, and stuff like that. But stretching, it comes a long ways. And like some people, they're like, my knees don't bend at 30. And I'm like, I just turned 34, right? I have no problems bending down and stuff. I've bent down better than I did in my early 20s, if I'm being honest. And because I couldn't even do it then. Like I said, I stopped around then to not do those. I didn't do those stretches and stuff like that. I didn't keep myself limber. I had bad knees in high school even, because of the injuries, and I didn't know what to do. And I forgot all about that, doing stretches like I did for my back. I didn't think it was going to work for my knees, because I tore my patella and stuff like that. But stretching is almost like a rehab, and I've come to learn that and stuff like that, and learn exercises to challenge that as well, because you're going to need to do strength stuff, and along with the stretching program, right? You want to stretch at least a couple times a week. 2 to 3. I mean, more the better, right? Getting you familiar with those positions, adding resistance to those positions, and various things like that. And like recently, I got into jujitsu this last year at the end of the year, and holy cow, you could tell a difference. I've been lucky that those guys helped me out a lot, and getting more mobility. I feel a lot more mobile on like my hips, being on the ground even like I could crawl around with like little kids and stuff, and it's crazy to me. The young nephews. Some of them wasn't walking yet, or one of them, I should say. But I can get on the ground and I can crawl with them without my knees being bad. I can go to work. I'll go on my knees if I have to work on a product or something. And oh man, it feels great. I feel young when I do it. And I bend down and do something, and my knees might feel like they're gonna explode after, but I feel great because I could never do that before. I could never sit in that position and things like that. So it's all good. So if you're like me, you're an older person, and you lose a mobility, I would recommend doing stretches and stuff like that. Maybe I'll make a video of stretching for older people that to help and do these things. I did a video where I was doing like some squats or something, and then I did a little bit of what I do for my knees and strengthening those with the tendons and stuff like that that I learned with the knees over toes guy. But some of these other things I just do on my own, and I didn't see it anywhere. I just did it, and it seemed to help. And apply pressures where I need it to be applied in order for me to get into the positions that I want to be into, and without being as pain free as I can have it. And a lot of these positions, they affect me daily. So if you want to make your own thing, the only way to do it is to go and do it. Hopefully you don't hurt yourself doing some weird stuff like trying too hard, adding too much resistance too early, especially if you're older and your body hasn't moved that way in years. I would recommend going slow, starting off slow and stuff like that. So, but anyways, it's no miracle or anything like that. It just requires you to get up and start moving, lubricating those joints, and slowly but surely and consistently doing those movements or whatever. Depends on your goal. You have a bad back, you might want to try to do like certain exercises. There's a reverse hyper I like a lot that helps with lower back pains and stuff like that. But you're not just going to do that alone. You got to figure out some kind of stretches. The snake, standing up straight, touching your toes, pulling yourself down, whatever. Things like that. It doesn't seem like it's much until you're doing it every day and you see improvements. Maybe not even every day. Like I said, maybe 2-3 times a week you're starting to stretch, but pretty soon you might be stretching every day because you're like, dude, I feel better when I do this stuff. Right? You get older, you have to stretch when you go to do stuff. Like I'll go shoot some hoops. Like before, when I was a kid or whatever, early 20s, I could just start shooting around, running around and stuff. But as I got older, I noticed like I can get injured right away if I don't stretch. So I'm constantly stretching, especially before any type of activity. So that's something to be mindful of. Stretching saves lives. I guess that's the point of this video. So if anybody wants to see any type of stretch videos, I'll shoot one, and we'll go from there. They'll just be strictly ideas that you can implement or not. Maybe you take one or two of them or something, or maybe one of them, or maybe you take the idea of one of them and implement it into whatever you're doing, right? Stretching doesn't have to be a chore. You could do it freaking in your living room. So I could even shoot it in my living room. I don't care. You don't have to go to a gym or anything like that to stretch. Stretching's free. You can do it at your house or whatever. But if it makes you more active and things like that, and makes you more motivated to do it, then get a gym membership, whatever. But if you want to purely not spend the money, you're saving money, whatever, and you're able to do it yourself, you know, do it in your living room. Do it with your grandbabies. Do it with your children. Do it with your friends, your loved ones, whatever. You know, just a matter of getting up and doing it. So, but anyways, I hope everybody has a great one. Till next time, I hope to see you guys again, and keep stretching, guys. Have a good one. Peace.